This is not a real minefield. It's a demonstration at a Canadian military base of the potentially hazardous job of mine clearing.
Pardon me? Tape, yeah, coming up.
Halfway across the world, Peshawar on the northwest frontier of Pakistan. A Canadian military camera team followed the Canadian soldiers when they came to join a United Nations operation which is teaching Afghans how to safely dispose of landmines. There are 5 million Afghan refugees, 3 million in Pakistan. They know from bitter experience that many hundreds of thousands of landmines litter their country. All have relatives who've been killed, maimed or injured by this dreadful legacy of the 10-year war. Sadruddin Aga Khan heads the UN's Operation Salam.
You know, the Afghans didn't wait for the UN to get started. That's why there were many casualties. They are remarkably brave and hardy people, and they're interested in clearing their fields so that they can get back to their agriculture.
To ensure that the courage of the Afghans is complemented with proper training, 9 countries are contributing military specialists to the United Nations effort.
Once this mine explodes, all these pieces of metal go out in a 360-degree arc like a huge shotgun.
A basic part of the course, recognizing mines and their characteristics. This is a plastic anti-personnel mine. Many are scattered across Afghanistan with no record of where they are. All the trainees are volunteers. When they complete the course, they'll go into Afghanistan to put their newfound skills to the test.
Next thing you must do...
The UN team teaches mine clearing techniques. Mine clearing is just one aspect of Operation Salam's billion-dollar technical and humanitarian program. It's working with all sides in the Afghan conflict to help restore devastated Afghanistan and its war-weary population.
They are hard-working, they're very resilient, they're people of extraordinary dignity. They've suffered a lot, but they can rebuild their country. What we have to get is a political settlement so that they can return home.
The latest group of the more than 3,000 who've been trained. The UN's Operation Salam has done its job. They've equipped the volunteers to dispose of mines in the safest possible ways. Now the Afghans are on their own. Ahead of them, their homeland beyond the Khyber Pass. The volunteers will cross these mountains to take up their lonely and dangerous new vacation. Hargeisa in northern Somalia was reduced to rubble by intensive bombardment during Somalia's civil wars. After the fighting, the northern region took its former colonial name of Somaliland and declared itself independent. Now, Somali refugees from Ethiopia are returning home with the help of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, or UNHCR. Markets are teeming again. But many of the 100,000 returnees prefer to live in tents. They're afraid to return to their home villages. An estimated 1 million landmines were laid in northwest Somalia, according to Somaliland's Minister for Reconstruction, Mohammed Abdi Ali.
A lot of people were maimed, and these are the problems which the government of Somaliland has got to do something about.
Wars end, but mines stay active. They become blind weapons that do not distinguish between the heavy tread of a soldier and the playful steps of children. These are among the victims. With financial support from the UNHCR and other donors, a British company called Rimfire is now in Hargeisa. In just 6 months, these mine disposal experts have become the town's heroes. This boy is the youngest Somali to be trained by Rimfire. He's one of more than 200 Somalis called pioneers who have so far destroyed 20,000 mines. Demining training is rigid with military discipline. But the pioneers are not a military force, according to Keith Burrows.
They carry no weapons, they carry nothing to look like weapons. The reason why we're trying to instill discipline into them is so that at the long term it will maybe save their lives in the minefields.
Demining work is slow, back-breaking, boring and extremely dangerous. The trainees rest every 30 minutes so they can concentrate better. Rimfire's Nick is a former British Royal Engineer.
Anti-personnel mines are laid about a centimetre below the surface, and out here on this terrain they're actually laid randomly. So we can't follow any pattern, so basically we have to take what comes across us. We have to discipline these guys here to make sure that we don't have any accidents.
This is anti-aircraft and anti-tank.
Besides landmines, various other explosive devices are constantly being found. Rimfire's knobby newborns.
All these mines here and ammunition are lying around the streets in Somaliland, in Hargeisa. We have a selection of shells, RPGs and bullets, all fuses. Children are actually playing with these when they find them and use them as toys.
These munitions are carefully gathered together and destroyed. It will take at least 5 years to clear northwestern Somalia of mines. The young pioneers of Somaliland are the best hope that the land can be made safe again. They're at the front line of the self-declared republic's efforts to build a new life for citizens and returning refugees alike. After a decade or more of living in refugee camps, more than 350,000 Cambodians will have returned home by the time of the elections this year. They board the trains filled with hope, but they're also aware that danger in Cambodia is far from over. The silent menace of landmines is a bitter fruit of a generation of war, a hazard wherever people live and travel. Mine awareness programs begin even before the refugees leave Thailand. Upon arrival in Cambodia, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees not only hands out food and cash for their new start, but also leaflets that remind them of how to avoid contact with mines. Nem Hun was a farmer when he left his war-torn country 14 years ago. At the first opportunity, he came back with his wife and 2 children. His home village is located in a heavily mined area. Nem Hun and his neighbours have learnt to live with the ever-present threat.
Nobody in this village has stepped on a mine because people told each other where the mines are, but we are afraid to go anywhere.
To make life safer for returnees, UNHCR works with the UN French demining team to clear one area after another from the most deadly reminders of the war. Many of the roads are safe by now, but it'll take years to locate all the ordnance hidden in fields and jungle. Government soldiers are being trained to take over from the UN and continue the search. Villagers have become accustomed to seeing UN and Cambodian soldiers carry out the methodical and careful hunt for mines. A demining sweep in and around Cam Nap village brought a variety of deadly ammunition to light. These mines are testimony to past international involvement in Cambodia. A UN officer identifies one mine as Vietnamese. The base is Soviet-made and it's being combined with American explosive. Reconstruction is well underway in Cambodia. The record of the mine program has been almost miraculous. Throughout the country, injuries from mines have been only in single figures. After the UN's minesweepers have left, farmers in Nem Hun's area return to their fields. Nem Hun helps his friends farm and hopes he'll become eligible to own some land himself after the elections this spring. He and his wife are already registered to vote.
I don't know yet for which party I will vote, but I will certainly go there. First, I will consult my wife and my children, and then I will make a decision.
Cambodians and the United Nations operation face many political and practical challenges before life can return entirely to normal. But the mine awareness program has proved to be a great success, a welcome step in the direction of peace. These are a new breed of Afghan warriors. They carry no Kalashnikovs or other firearms. Their metal detectors are their most treasured possession. Every day they face the silent killers that litter their country, landmines. Afghanistan has endured 16 years of war. First, the Soviet Union invaded and laid down mine belts. When the Soviets withdrew, Afghan factions mined cities and villages. All in all, 10 million mines are scattered across 400 square kilometers of the country. People returning to the capital, Kabul,